All right, y'all, what's up? Y'all come on in. You know the routine, chat amongst yourselves, trying to wait for a certain amount of people to get in here. In the meantime, Source Jedi, what's up? Vincent K, what's up? Um, Sin Indigo Goddess, what's up? Welcome. And Tassis 72, it's been a long time since you did a live. Yes, it has. Revamp Skunk just made it. Hello, what's up? Conscious Vibration, good afternoon. I guess it's still morning where you are, huh? Sean, what's up, Shondell? Hey, I'm just rewatching my favorite 90s underrated show, Soldiers, on Roku for free because I know how much I'm fascinated with other dimensions. Beloved, did things switch here? Okay, people starting to come in. Wait a minute, someone by the name of Beloved Dracon. Oh my God, I made it. Hello, what's up? Welcome. RRP Media, what's up, family? Monharu, what's up? Long time no see. Divine Warrior, you know what time it is. Howdy. I got your back. Moderator family is in the house. Of course, thank you. Thank you all for sharing this moment with me. Avon, what's up, fam? What's up? You at work. I appreciate it. And my buddy Paradigm Collector, what's up? I got a lot to cover in a short amount of time. I'm going to try to wait and see how many more people we get coming in. Right now, it's showing 20 people in the room and 7 likes. Y'all know the politics of this environment. We are not very pleased with it, but it is what it is. Y'all know what y'all got to do. If you're in here, it only takes 1 second. We get on these cameras and sit. We invest so much time and energy to bring these lives, these videos to you guys, and you enjoy it, obviously. And it only takes 1 second to hit the like button. We shouldn't have to keep asking people to take 1 second out to just hit that like button. Can y'all hear me clearly? Y'all can hear me clearly. Hit 1. So I was having some difficulties with the audio a little before going live. Okay, good. No glitches or anything in the audio. Miss Kitty Lulu, what's up, fam? I'm glad you made it. Ramon, welcome. Let's see who else in here that I have not called out. Like I say, y'all, I have a lot to cover. And of course, I'm in someone else's house. Y'all know they have been updating their terms of use or what have you. And I would love to just say things outright. But again, a lot of times I speak in a cryptic way. Some of you guys I speak with offline and I can be more overt with things that I share. But again, generally speaking, if I share something that does not make sense, you guys can hit me up in the background and I will do my best to respond to you and give you clarity as soon as I have enough time and energy to do so. All right? Is that fair? Can I get a fair? Give me 1 for fair. Okay, looks like the feed stopped. Okay, Asia, welcome, fam. Okay, y'all got it. All right. I wanted to play a little bit of audio, but it's not translating well over the feed, and it's just not going to do it justice. So I'm sure everyone that I've seen in this room thus far is familiar with my conscious album that I've done. This is food for the soul. I did not write this album and this project for people to party, make love to, and anything. This is music that was designed to absolutely elevate consciousness, feed the soul, and to empower and inspire. It really is kind of like a modern day form of inspirational music. And I call it retro soul because I like that retro sound, meaning um, back in the day, but eclectic because I like all kinds of music, although R&B and soul music is my preference, but I love all kinds of music, all kinds of artists, all kinds of genre. So I could define my music as eclectro soul because it's eclectic, retro mixed in with something new. And the reason why I love old school music so much is because that music had real magic, it had meaning, it had metaphor, it had intelligence. It was real food for the soul, and it really didn't matter what genre the music came from. I remember a time when the local radio station, popular radio station where I live, they were starting to play music of all genres across the board. I was a kid. This is the 80s. I'm kind of dating myself, but y'all know I don't subscribe to the man-made age program. But anyway, in the 80s, growing up in the 80s, music played on the radio. It was so good that unlike today, you have to either turn it off or turn a channel when certain songs come on. So back then, you rarely had to change the channel because everybody was bringing magic, soul, creativity, real musicianship, people really singing about their life experiences. It wasn't heavily produced like it is now, and it's all about the money, and it's all about selling an image. It's also some other agendas, some nefarious agendas behind a lot of this music. So I knew long before the last lockdown that I was going to put this project together, but I did not let the lockdown stop me. So I invested in some equipment, got on schedule, learned things I didn't know before, did it to the best of my ability, and it is a project I'm very proud of. It's not about it being played on the radio. It's not about it being made mainstream, even though, of course, the more people get the music, listen to it, and give it a chance, hey, if it's authentic and genuine, I'm all for it. But I did not do this for fame, riches, or anything like that. It is a part of my ministry, and I'm very, very serious about it. And so the reason why I'm saying this as a preface is because um, Connie, what's up, Connie? She's in the room. I'm not going to tell you which one she is, but Connie wrote me and shared with me something so touching. And she shares things with me off and on for some time now regarding especially the song You Are Loved Beyond Measure. And the message comes by way of Daniel. Daniel, you guys are familiar with. We've talked about him. We talked about autism in the past. Connie and we did a video about autism, and we also talked about Daniel, who is autistic, but is very, very connected and very gifted. As a matter of fact, at the time when Connie and I began speaking, I was sharing things with her, which she will admit at that time, a lot of it was so far out there, so far-fetched. And one of the things I told her, I gave her a reading about Daniel, just before it all, so much has happened since then to validate what I'm about to share with her, is that Daniel is very gifted and connected, and he's doing inner grid work with this great awakening. So the wisdom there, that's why I say you can never judge a book by its cover. I don't care what shade, what gender, these political, what are these, what they call it, identity politics that they try to use to demonize certain people and groups. There are nefarious forces in all of these situations, but they are also very powerful, divine, wise, ancient beings down here. And Daniel is one of them. And this is what Connie shared with me that Daniel said. Now, keep in mind, Daniel, remember the book, A New Earth? Daniel was very instrumental in the co-creation of that book that has groundbreaking information about what's really going on down here behind the scenes. And so when she shared this with me, I cannot tell you what I'm about to read. It, again, it further validates my intention, why I do what I do, as well as the many others who are doing similar work. We are not doing it for fame. We're not doing it for money, because if we were doing it for any of that, we should have that. I've been doing this now about 15 years publicly. Where have YouTube sent me one check in all those years, and that was for $250. My support comes from above, Star family, my family and friends, and you guys by way of donation. You inspire me. This system is not paying me, and I'm getting ready to go into another point of conversation, but let me read this to you guys. And this is by way of the very gifted, very wise Daniel. He said about "You Are Loved Beyond Measure." The more you listen to this song, the more you fall in love with it, because you can hear Source speaking to you, reminding you of your divinity. This song connects to the heart of humanity, and the music will play in the souls long after the song stops. Those of us who are extra sensitive can even see the notes of this song after the music has ended. It lingers energetically. It is pure. There's no distortion. This song is pure, is a pure signal. I love that. This song is a pure signal, and he has pure signals in all caps. Most of the music out there in the world is crudted up, and nothing like this one that is in a frequency of pure love. The song activates all the cells in your body, macro and micro, which can also activate the inner healer in you. This song makes me feel victorious. Imagine what you can do when you feel victorious all of the time. Imagine what you can do when you feel Imagine what you can do when you feel victorious all the time. I want to give thanks and gratitude to all my fellow soldiers and to all those on a spiritual or awakening mission. And we will be victorious. The more you listen to this song, the more you fall in love with it, because you can hear Source speaking to you, reminding you of your divinity. Okay, I think I reposted it twice, but it ended on, I want to give thanks and gratitude to all my fellow soldiers and to all those on a spiritual or awakening mission. Now, Connie sent that message to me directly, but when you read it, you clearly know that Daniel already knew that I was going to read this, and he wanted me to get this message not only to me, but to you guys as well. And so the words, and when I hear people writing me, one of my first cousins, she listened to the album. She said she had to listen to it 3 times. And she said by the 3rd time she got it. And she also said it's a project that most people will not get right away. Now, you guys are more discerning and have, you're more wired to interpret it and get it right off the cuff. But to other people who are conditioned to the musical junk food, this low vibratory, heavily manipulated, heavily produced, hypersexual, degenerate, reprobate nonsense that's out there flooding the airwaves, these people are not going to get it. They're not going to get it. Now, we're going to hope and continue, because there's a little bit of window left for those of us to understand what is really happening on every single and within every single system of influence on this planet. You have those who are walking the path of trying to help and uplift and heal. And then you have those on the other side who are doing the absolute total opposite. And I think at this point, my intention should be very, very clear. And my purpose here should be very clear by now, especially given that you guys have witnessed what I've been dealing with on these social media platforms almost from day one, which leads me to my next talking point. Someone sent me a message on Facebook asking me if I am a Freemason. I was not offended by that question, but they also, when I gave them the answer, they made a point to send me a link where someone had made a video questioning. They wrote it in a provocative way. They weren't outright accusing me of being a Freemason, but they did it in a provocative way. And I have no problem with that because, again, a part of what we do as messengers, and don't forget, I'm also an artist. They go hand in hand. They go hand in hand with my unique ministry. I'm also an artist. Artists, we're supposed to provoke thought. We're supposed to push buttons. We're supposed to make people uncomfortable. No one should be comfortable on a planet in a world like this mess we had down here. Something is absolutely, let me choose my words wisely because I don't want to come across as judgmental. I like what Michelle Obama says, when people go low, you have to go high. Something I challenge those who really think this world, the way it is good, and I don't even care if it's working in your favor. If you cannot step outside of your ego, and I'm going to touch on a talking point connected to that, if you cannot move outside of your ego, which your plight in life, your skin color, your group, and see the inhumanity that it's been to others who may not look like you, live like you, have the same shade as you, make love like you, then you're not as woke as you claim to be. Again, that's another talking point that I'm going to get to. So this video, I went and I watched it and I read it, and the gentleman who put this video together was provoking thought. Now I'm going to tell you straight from the source, I am not a Freemason. I'm not a Mason, because they're two different things. I'm not a part of any organization, secret order, or secret society on this planet. None whatsoever. I am too much of a free spirit for that. I don't like to be controlled. I don't like people telling me how I should move, how I should talk, how I should express myself. Free-spirited people, many of you guys are. We don't like that kind of stuff. And there's no amount of money, because I'm not impressed with money. I'm not impressed with clout. I'm not impressed with status. I'm not. You can't get me with sex and sexual. None of that stuff appeals to me. I do this from a pure heart. As Daniel said, a pure signal. I am a vessel of a pure signal. And I'm not perfect. No one is, as long as we're in these dense physical bodies with manipulated genetics and DNA and all this kind of stuff. It's a constant battle. But one thing I will never do is get on camera and lie on anyone, fake and pretend that I'm anything but what you see here. So no, I am not a Freemason. Now, this person took still frames from videos that I had done, some of my artwork to my original music or what have you. Now, anyone can literally, and my sister left a comment, if you were to sit in front of a camera as much as we do and record it, anybody can come along and take a frame and freeze it and produce it and shape a narrative behind it. Now, do I purposely use symbolisms and images in my pictures and in my videos and my artwork? Absolutely. Why? Because that's what we do. I said a long time ago, I am always communicating something, even in the visuals that I do, the color scheme, the symbols. Y'all have to stop giving these dark forces credit for everything. They did not invent symbolism. They are using symbolism in the art of and language and the nature of reality in the same way the righteous ones do. The difference is the intent. And then this person wrote in their description that I indirectly, in a roundabout way, admitted to being a Mason because I said not all Freemasons are bad people. I say that about every group. So if I say that all Caucasian women are not, I mean, all Caucasian people are not evil demons, that narrative that's out there, does that make me a white Caucasian? If I say that all women are not evil, does that make me a woman? Okay, you see how irrational and how ridiculous that sounds? I'm not one of those people who are playing into these identity politics. And it brings me to my next message regarding these messengers. And I'm seeing a lot of this. And these people are heavily pushed, whether they know it or not, because they are playing right into the game of division. Divide and conquer is how these nefarious forces have been ruling and manipulating humanity for so long. And there's so many so-called woke. Remember I said years ago, you're going to have the fake woke and you're going to have the real woke. Unfortunately, because of who's overwhelmingly controlling mass media, the fake woke is dominating the airwaves on social media and the mainstream media alike. Now, if you can't see that, I don't know what to tell you. The genuine ones are being suppressed. I'm not saying this for no other reason than to simply bring awareness so that the people understand having big numbers and a massive following does not prove that you're really woke or you got something very special above everyone else. Now, unlike others, I would not tell anyone to outright dismiss these people because they're going to give you some gems. But I tell you, and I always advise people, no matter what, you look at everything with a fine-tooth comb and use discernment. And I've even explained and shown you guys how to properly discern. I don't just talk. I always give solutions. That's the other thing that many of these people who say they're woke, they're pointing out all this doom and gloom stuff, demonizing people based on identity politics, creating all this separation, but you don't never see them giving no good news. They don't offer any solution, but somehow because of that and because they have big numbers, people buy into the illusion that they somehow have a leg up over the rest of us who are not getting the same reach, and it is being manipulated that way. So again, these messengers and these so-called woke people, and I see you, and I've done calibration level readings on many of them, and I'm telling you, again, a lot of people, a lot of souls have been compromised. This is why I say we all have to get our discernment levels up, meditate, and unite like never before. And that is because what is coming down the pike, a lot I cannot share, and it's not fear-mongering. Now, what I will say is that some of the other things that I'm going to touch on is going to play out, but here's the difference, and here's what a lot of these doom and gloomers, here's what a lot of these doom and gloomers either don't tell or they may not know, because there are levels to this, right? A lot of these things are going to play out, but some of us, it won't even affect us. We'll see it happening, but it won't impact our lives directly. It will happen to and will impact those who align themselves up with that reality and with that frequency. This is why when I talk about doing predictions, it's very difficult to pinpoint, because we're talking about multi-dimensional. There's so many layers and so many moving parts. We're talking about multi-dimensional chess here. This is why the most difficult and most challenging part for me when I do readings is mapping timelines, because timelines have been shifted and manipulated. This is one of the reasons behind the Mandela effect. All this stuff where Miss Kitty Lulu just sent a video showing where Barker had just passed away. I remember Bob Barker from the host of The Price is Right. I remember him passing a few years ago. They're reporting him. You see, all this stuff is going on all at the same time. So when people come and share their prophecies, and a lot of these people are going based on the Bible, and really going to have to choose my words wisely with this one, because they'll shut this feed down. Years ago, when I explained to you guys that we give life meaning, life is basically co-created and created based on our collective consciousness and what we believe. Some of this, a lot of this, is going to play out because this is what these people, they're reading a script. That's why they call it scriptures. Even though a lot of these things are cycles, this stuff happens in cycle, but there's a lot of things that those who found loopholes to help manifest a reality where they remain on top. You see what I'm saying? Where their agendas flourish or what have you, they make sure their chosen ones push that narrative, and then because of the resources and connection they have, they can make the so-called prophecy, but it's not a prophecy, it's a script, it's theater, it's staged, make it look like it's prophecy when it's not. And so when you get millions of people looking at that and thinking all this stuff playing out due to scriptures, they're going to believe that this is a sign that someone's going to come and save them and all this kind of stuff. And so they sit back and don't do anything proactive, don't do anything to try to make a difference, because let me tell y'all something. A lot of times when we get a prophecy or reading, it's not for us to just sit back and ride a wave. A lot of times it's there for us to consider that we're doing something wrong or something, especially if it's something we don't want to see happen. And we therefore should shift the course to do something to prevent that or shift it or change the trajectory. But we right now are still dealing with forces who understand the nature of reality, that it's holographic in nature, and that collectively we shape and we create. And this is why they want to control the flow of information so that their agenda, their version of reality plays out and they remain in power. Now, their version of reality is going to play out, but that does not mean those of us who don't consent or agree to it will be in alignment with that reality. Those people who are in alignment with that reality will experience and see that reality play out. When I speak, I'm speaking, I speak all the potentials, but I speak the most likely trajectory based on those who resonate with me and where I am as a seer. We're riding the same wave. You get it? That's why I say it's a lot. It's so much more that I can say. And one more thing, this person said that I am a part of the conscious community. I am not a part of the conscious community, and let me tell you why. First of all, when I started out, there was no conscious community. YouTube was simply a platform for people to get up here, share our talents, share whatever we want to share. I chose to use it to share my experiences with the astral plane, what I learned about the nature of reality, traveling and moving beyond the veil, dealing with beings that are not from this dimension, not from this world, many of them. I don't care how crazy people think this sounds, but yes, many of them. And I simply got on here and shared from a pure place. Then what happened was there were others that saw that there was an interest in it, because back then my channel was growing very fast, and so naturally when people saw that there was a lot of people out there interested in this kind of stuff, that's when the copycats popped up. Now this is where it really went downhill. Remember I talked about there was a time when they went and recruited people with a certain talent, with certain abilities, certain talent, certain charisma. They recruited felons. They recruited all kind of people to get up here and basically get in front of the true, real Great Awakening. I was approached multiple times here and beyond, and I declined them all. Now, this is just a review for most of you guys, but where I'm going with this is that the so-called emerged conscious community that most people identify and it's throwing everybody else under the bus under. I'm not a part of that community. Y'all never see me on any of those platforms. I don't interact with any of those people. I made some good connections with individuals on a very unique personal level. I'm not a part of any group. So how can I be a part of the conscious community? Y'all never see me on any of these people's platform, and I don't talk to any of them. I don't have a relationship with any of them. I don't push what they're pushing. I don't do what they do. So just because I happen to speak about things that are outside the box does not automatically put me in the under the umbrella of the conscious community. I am not. And quite frankly, this mess that I see, you couldn't pay me, or there's nothing that will make me want to align with that, because I see what is really behind that. All right. Now, I want to talk about a very relevant topic. And again, I'm going to have to kind of speak in a cryptic way. Um, Trump, my Trump prediction revisited. I did a video. You guys know that video where it was called, "Are we heading towards nuclear war?" When I'm done with this video, you can go back and look at it. I'm not going to pull it up. In that video, someone specifically asked me about the Trump indictment regarding the Mar-a-Lago raid. And what I said, now, if you guys go back, now that it is played out, now I can say more specifically what I was hinting at. I said, no, I do not see an indictment or arrest. What I see is more like theater. Theater. You guys know what that means? I kind of gave you a clue before when I was talking about the scripture and the collective consciousness. Theater simply means that it is a orchestrated, planned smoke and mirror, not real, not based in truth, not based in reality. Now, some people say it's a distraction. Yes, it's part distraction. That's a part of it. It's part political, part distraction from the real mess that's really going on, and to cover up some things. Okay, I have to speak in code. So when I said what I see is more theater, that's what I was saying. It's not based in a real indictment or a justified indictment. And you see, the media was saying he was arrested. Now, to be arrested means they would have to literally come and put handcuffs on you. You see the narrative? They were pushing that he was arrested, and technically he still hasn't been arrested. Arrested means cuffed, apprehended, and taken in. He went in each time, allegedly, on his own free will. That's not an arrest. That's like a summons. People get that all the time. They don't call it an arrest. If you get a court order to show up to court, when in the history of the world was that turned and classified as an arrest? You see, but that's the narrative they've been pushing, and I see people literally saying Trump was arrested. You see, it's psychological. It's a part of the game, stage stuff to get in the psyche of the people to shape a narrative. And the other thing that I said in that video, go back and look at it, I said to make the innocent look guilty and the guilty look innocent. Now, you guys know about the cover-up that's leaking out, and I'm going to touch on that later on regarding this lockdown that I see most likely happening. The cover-up, go back in that, I said that for a reason. Then I also said they will continue this until the primaries. Now, go look at that video, right? You hear me say that clear as day. Trump didn't even announce he was running for president at that time. Am I lying? Go look at that video. He didn't even, and I said they were going to keep this going until the primaries, because I saw that it was a smoke and screen stage orchestrated hit for multiple reasons, but I couldn't outright say it at that time because did you see the censorship? What the negative side, what the unrighteous ones are trying to do, they're trying to set a precedence. This is bigger than Trump. They're trying to set a precedence that if you don't go along with what their narrative is, they can criminalize you. This is part of what this is about. They are literally trying to push, override the Constitution and our free will in one full swoop, and there people still can't see it because they're leading them by their emotions, they're leading them by identity politics and fear mongering, and these whack ass, I'ma just say it, these whack ass influencers and these fake woke ass people out here. Sean said I wasn't going to be cold, mean at all. Didn't mean to, but thanks for letting me know. You was just joking. Oh, you were talking about revamped skunk. Okay. So the reason why I wanted to bring that up now that that has played out is because what I said about that particular specific question and so-called indictment applies to everything that I see happening with all it's the same thing. What you see is a desperation, and it is orchestrated, it is staged. When he's saying it's a hoax, and it's you see the lawlessness, the overstepping of constitutional boundaries, laws, and all this stuff. It's because it's literally theater. It's not real. It's not based in truth. But they're setting it up like that and making it look like that to get the people to turn against and to hide. But it's not working. It's backfiring. And this is a testament of the work of the people who genuinely care about the benefit of the earth and her people. A lot is going on behind the scenes. You will not see it on the mainstream media, and you will not see it in the forefront of these social media platforms. Not yet. There's a change in power. I've been saying this for years. There is a change of power. The old is gone. A new is, and it's making way for a new. Those who are one with that old, they're going to fall away with it and go down with it. They want to take down and bring down as many souls as possible. The one that's in there, that thing in there now, and their support system, he literally is on record saying they are fighting for the soul of America. Now apply that to each and one, not just the world, but each and every single soul on the planet. They tell you what they're doing right in plain sight. But again, people in la la land, no discernment, leading with their emotion, believing the media is telling them the truth. These fake influencers, these fake pastors, all these people that are on payroll. And Connie said it best. You should never trust anyone who's bought and paid for. And there's a lot of that going on. And one thing for sure, may the Almighty strike me down right now. Ain't nobody buttering my bread but the Almighty, Him, her itself, my ancestors, and my immediate family, and some of you guys. That's it. And that's where my loyalty is, and that's where it shall remain. Now, I want to share with you guys, and I'm going to come and answer a few questions before I log off as well. I want to share with you guys a soul catcher experience that I had on the astral plane, because y'all love when I share stories like this. And this is another thing that people such as myself, we deal with. Not so much, we deal with attacks on this level in covert and overt ways, but we also deal with attacks on the unseen realm because we have access. And we see things that come along with that access we can never unsee. So there were, just as they've been doing for a long time now, trying to snare me, sick beings on me, and all this kind of stuff. So a part of the work that a lot of us do, we go down in the lower astral realm to help save souls who got either taken there, snatched there, tricked there, or they failed there based on their own internal battles that they didn't have enough clarity or understanding to understand that there's a way out. So a lot of us do missionary work. Our work does not stop just here. We go down to those lower dark realms to rescue others. This is my first time consciously remembering being face to face with a soul catcher. Now, let me describe what these beings look like. They look very similar to Harry Potter. I think they call them the defectors or the defactors or something. They're hooded. They're very, very tall, elongated. They don't have no facial. It's like a black head. And they have like this very dark fog mist that floats around them. And this one had like a web layer, like spider web layer over his face, but he was really pitch black, hooded, very, very tall, very, very menacing. This is what happened. As I was moving about, I was levitating. Remember, we have different laws in physics. When I'm on Astral, I just do it. I don't even have to think about it. Levitating, and I'm on a search mission in this dark area, and I feel something tap me on my shoulder, just as real as I'm sitting here talking to you guys. I turn around. At the same time, there was this being. His back was facing mine at the time. But I saw as I was turning around, he was turning around. So I turn around and I'm looking, literally, it was, even though I was levitating off of the ground, this being was probably levitating as well now that I think about it. But he was hit the position, he was still taller than me. And he looked down at me. Now I'm looking up at this being. I was not afraid, because when I'm out there, I don't feel any fear. I was not afraid. I was not worried. I remember constantly trying to assess what this is. This being looked down at me and he literally did this. His head tilted this way, then his head tilted that way. Then he tilted this way again, as if he was seeing something that was peculiar or something he'd never seen before or couldn't make out. Right at that moment, a force pulled me by my midsection. The force was so intense and so powerful that I didn't even have a chance to think. Next thing you know, I'm floating, I'm being pulled back, and my astral body is literally like this with my foot, arms out, my legs straight out, and the force was pulling me back at lightning speed. It was so, and I could feel the wind shifting around me at lightning speed, and I saw the being like disappear into nothingness, and I came and I slammed so hard in my body, I jumped up. Somebody tried to set that being on me, and it didn't work. And I'm gonna tell you why. One of the reasons why it didn't work. First of all, the alliance that I have around me are some of the most powerful beings. Truly, I've seen it. That's number one. Some of the most powerful beings I have conscious memory of. That's number one. Then number two, a lot of us have a built-in mechanism that just kicks in when certain things happen. We just do it. We don't even think about it. It just happened. So I'm gonna tell you one of the main reasons why these beings have failed time and time again to grasp certain beings is because there is a presence here, there is a light, there is a force here that they've never seen before. And I told you guys this years ago when I came face to face with warlocks on the astral realm where they were trying to stop the Messiah from coming in. I never talked in detail about this. The Messiah was coming down, the great womb of the great mother was coming down. We were there. And these warlocks was trying to stop the birth of this Messiah. Now, keep in mind, people are looking for one Messiah. They're multiple. They're multiple. They were trying to stop it from even coming before it could be born. And I remember clear as day when I manifest before one of them and I saw my light reflecting off of their hood, that being dropped, my eyes got real big and his mouth dropped. He was in total awe and disbelief. There is a light that we have, a power these beings do not understand. They don't know what to do with it. They can't comprehend it. That's why I say there are levels to this. There are beings down here now. If they were not here, you talk about hell on earth. I said this before. This is why a lot of this doom and gloom stuff So a lot of it, yes, will play out, and yes, some people will end up in that timeline, in that reality. But by and large, there's a lot being done behind the scene to lessen the impact and shield these things from happening to certain people. And that includes the star family with the pole shift. Now, I hear a lot of people talking about this pole shift. That is real. That is happening. The tide is shifting and it is changing. However, what they're not telling you, either because they're keeping it from you guys or they don't know, there are beings here who have um, connections and power who are softening the blows of these things so that this separation of worlds where those who are ascending are not harmed, those who fall back, they're going to feel the brunt of all of this stuff. They're going to be living in it. That's hell. That's why I say hell is not people in fire literally burning. Hell is living in a world and in a reality that is on 100 times worse than what we see here in a dense physical body. It's slavery. It's evil being ruled by evil and wickedness. Now I want to share with you guys, this is a very beautiful thing. And this, again, every one of you guys who are here, you made this shift. We made this shift together. I saw for the first time in my life a double rainbow. Now, what that means is there's a big, massive rainbow, and right underneath it is another rainbow. It was the most magical thing, and it was on a bright, beautiful day. My sister and my nephew, we all work out together. We were just coming from the gym. We were going to get something to eat. And it was meant for us to see it. Now, let me tell you, if any of you guys have seen this, again, this is validation that you have shifted again. These shifts happen incrementally. So everyone who has shifted again has shifted to another higher dimension. That smaller rainbow is reflective of that world or that timeline and that reality that is becoming more and more compact. Those who are ascending, we are expanding. So everything, all the particles, everything that we see within this reality has expanded. This is what, when I talk about these dense bodies and this dense physical reality, we're compact. In 3D, in these lower dimensional realms, everything is squished and compact. That's what gives us solidity. That's what keeps us from seeing beyond the basic light spectrum. But as we separate and we expand, things become more clear. Our weight, everything becomes lighter. Our need to want to eat as much lessen. Everything starts shifting. You feel your body shift. You literally start feeling lighter. You feel the energy around you shifting and lighter. And you noticing that people who are very toxic are starting to disappear and move away out of your life. So I want to say congratulations. We made another big shift in spite of all this madness that is going on. You know, like I say, a lot of this stuff is going to play out, but it's not, everybody is not going to feel it, and everybody is not going to experience it. Those that do have either consented to it or have some, they believe, because they believe in it, they align themselves by their own consent to it, or their frequency just wasn't fast, or their vibration wasn't fast enough to assimilate and make the shift. And we're going to keep making these incremental shifts. It has to be incremental. All right. Let me see. Is there anything? I know, look like you guys have been talking. Let me just go back and see if you guys have any questions before I answer the questions that I got by way of email. Oh, the mentors, that paradigm collector. Yeah, that's what these soul collectors look like. And they are very real. Yes, they look like the Dementors. You guys look up Dementors. That's what I came face to face with. Clear as day. what's really happening in Maui with the lost children. Oh God. Again, two different realities playing out. Some of those children were raptured out of here. But then there was some of those, more is going to come out about this, something more sinister. Because what these beings, what some of these beings down here do, because they, again, people give them too much credit where it's not needed. When natural occurrences happen, this, I don't feel this was all natural either, by the way, but I'm just speaking in general. They go in and they seize the moment and try to use that crisis to further an agenda, or they go in and they try to seize whatever resource, and these people seize us like resource. They see people, we're just like a tree or a piece of meat or something to them, or bill or currency. They don't see the humanity because they don't even have humanity themselves. Read between the lines. But there's a lot going on with that. I'm gonna come back to that. So those who didn't make it, I know how it looks on the surface. They were taken out like that. They didn't really suffer. They were. That's what I say. When you look at these things happening from a physical point of view, rightfully so, it's terrible, it's horrific. But those whose time was up and they no longer have no ties, no legion, no debt, no nothing or what have you, they are literally shifted out before they can feel anything. They're out. So that's the beauty about when the time comes, when death is imminent, it's quick. And most of the time they won't even remember what happened to them until they rest and go back and look at their Akashic records, or or their elders or the council show them what has happened. 31 people and 2 likes. 37 people and 29 likes. Now, again, only 38 people in this room, according to this number. Again, you see, if I were a Freemason, you think that would be the case? If I were a Freemason or part of the secret order, I either would not be on here at all, or if I'm on here, I would have thousands of people, hundreds, if not thousands of likes by now. This is what I say. I tell you guys, and I explain this to you guys. It's clear as day, and people still don't get it. And many of you guys say this. You still don't get my notification, but they're sending notifications of the very same people you didn't subscribe to that they're pushing on the people. You can't get more clear and obvious than that. Then they also lock and undo the likes, by the way, as well, guys. So again, a Freemason online wouldn't be dealing with that. Think about it. All right. Now I'm going to go on to some of your questions. I got to get ready to go because I got to head to the gym. Y'all see my face when I'm kind of going off track, but this is the thing, guys. I said it before, but I have to say it again. It's the weirdest thing. When I gain weight, the first place you notice it is in my face. I've always had a full face. When I lose weight, the last place you see it is in the face. Usually it's when you lose weight, the first place you see it is in my face. And then, like I said, this is why a lot of people, when they see me in person, they think I'm chubby because I have a full chubby face. But they're shocked at how small I am in person, not just in terms of my weight, but my height, So at one time I hated my chubby face, but they used to always tell me, you better embrace that because the time's going to come that's going to keep you looking very youthful and vibrant. But I can see when my face has slimmed down a little bit. So I'm working on it. Not for vanity reasons, just to be the best possible version of myself. And there's nothing wrong with any of us doing that. So let me get to a couple of questions that were sent to me that I didn't get a chance to answer. Someone asked me, and this is a hot topic going around in these circles. I value your insight, so I thought I'd ask you. I see a lot of talk about another lockdown coming due to a new strain and this BRICS currency leading us to be a third world country. Do you know if any of this is true? Again, going back to what I said, you have one side who want to do a lockdown for X, Y, Z, the nefarious side. Then you have the righteous side who wants to have a lockdown for X, Y, and Z. Both are fighting for power to push his or her will. Now, based on the trajectory we're on, yes, I do see a lockdown, but it will not be because of the crash of the dollar, which we've been saying for years. It's finished. It's been done. They've been artificially propping it. Y'all know I've been saying this for years. They've been artificially propping it. It been lost its value. The system, the old, is dead. It's gone. It's fallen. Now, what they're doing is they're trying to grab and pull down as many with them, those that are falling. Their desperation is showing, and they're trying to pull down as many as possible. There are those of us who have a major role on every facet of society: political, spiritual, metaphysical, social, civil, religious, etc., across the board, who are here to counter that. So the most likely trajectory I see playing out is the lockdown to basically take care of the criminal factions that's been behind all of this theft, evil, debauchery, wickedness for thousands of years. And they're not just forces here in human form. Now, this leads me to these UFOs that are popping up. A lot of this is, these are beings who have been here from day one. They've been under this firmament with us, but they've been underground. Now, okay, I have to watch how I say this. Because of the cleanup that's being going on, the warring that's literally going on, literally, physically. A lot of you guys have been hearing explosions, and it has even made the news. There's a lot going on underground. And so what is happening is it's making a lot of these beings who have been underground come up to the surface. Same thing is happening with our oceans. A lot of beings who have technology to be under the oceans and different places around the earth, they are now coming to the surface. But they have technology and ways of cloaking themselves very, very well. Again, I can't say but so much. All of this is playing out at the same time. So you have those on the ground who are battling those who want to push one agenda over the other. So we're going to see some of both sides play out. But what I see, the lockdown more or less is going to do with the exposure, exposure of the mass corruption, the deception, the global deception, the stuff that has been going on underground. Like that video I did, which they locked that one down when I talk about Noah, who has millions of subscribers, and I'm doing a response video, and that video ain't even got 600 views in 2 months. Where I say that a lot of this stuff, when people when they think they're going in the afterlife, no, they're going in the middle of the earth and seeing the hell and the horrors that's physically happening down there and has been going on for thousands of years with people on the surface, involving beings who have always been here. They're not aliens. It's a lot more to it. Although there are, as we separate and the firmament thins out and separates, there are forces coming in that's helping. They're not going to do the work for us. They are assisting. So in terms of this brick thing with the money, that is real. That is going to play out. They want to make this country a third world country. I don't see that playing out for the trajectory we're on, but yes, there are those who will experience that reality because they're going to fall wake up or pass away in this reality and wake up in that reality, and that's going to be their reality. Because remember, reality is far more fluid than meets the eye. Every time we go to sleep, we're shifting dimensions constantly as we speak right now. Every time we go to sleep and wake up, we're waking up in another layer, another dimension, another shift has happened. But those big shifts are those where, like I said, when you're seeing a double rainbow or you notice a very drastic change inside and out and around you. Asia, I believe you was the one that asked that question about the BRICS currency. So we are moving into a different kind of currency. Now there will be when they talk about the mark of the beast, again, that is an agenda, but it's not going to be immediately in the hands. They're going to be trying to push that and implement that. And they're doing it now through the cell phones, where technically you're going to have to take your cell phone everywhere you go. I rarely take my cell phone anywhere with me. I'm not even really on it. I only get on it when I need it. But there's going to come a period where you're going to, like when we go to the gym, they tell us we must have our cell phone. And I tell them, I don't come to the gym to have a phone on my hip. Y'all going to log me in the old-fashioned way, or I'm withdrawing my membership. I'm not going to participate in this foolishness. So some of this is already playing out where people are literally using their cell phones to buy food and all this kind of stuff. So they're pushing it to a degree, but again, it's not going to play out on a full scale the way they want to, not on the timeline we're on, but we're going to see remnants of it. But there are going to be people who are going to end up living in that reality. So with the fall of the dollar, this is kind of where Trump, he's a part of this prophecy. Not perfect. Nobody down here is perfect. They're not looking for perfection. But this is a part of what Trump is here to do, to help with the fundings, the money that has been stolen from the people. He plays a big role in the redistribution. They call that socialism, I believe. But no, it's not socialism if you're giving back money that has been stolen from people who rightfully is stolen from the people. That's not socialism. You take back what was stolen from the people and you give it back to them. That's what I've been saying. Not just money. I'm talking about trust. A lot of us, all of us got a trust. I'm talking about artifacts. I'm talking about land. I'm talking about this very planet. This stuff goes deep. This is why I say with all these distractions, these people kick up to keep people from seeing what's really, really going on. So I wouldn't worry about the BRICS and all that stuff. What I always say, because nothing is written in stone, I always say, prepare for the work, hope and prepare for the best, but also be prepared and ready for the worst. That way, either way it goes, you good. Anybody got any questions about that? Oh, and by the way, coming back to the phones, just like I say, they got AI that can read the biorhythm, read our biorhythm when we put our image on the internet. They do, just like I told y'all, they have AI that can read the temperament and intention and emotion of music. Years ago, people thought that was crazy. That's why I say by the time they release what they have to the public, it's Wampa Room technology compared to what they really have. So those phones will be mapping your biorhythm as well. So what does that mean? Especially for the people who got the snake juice. Having that phone, they're going to synchronize. It's kind of like tapping into that transhumanism. Even when you don't have a phone, it's going to synchronize to a point where the nanotech that they have in that stuff is going to be the equivalent of you having a phone on you, whether you have it on you or not. It's deep, man. Again, those who really fall and going to really live that reality will, but we're going to see it. We're going to see it come and go. But those of us who are making the shift to the new earth, where we build a more sane, the new earth that's expanded, more harmonic, the earth that shifts, where it ain't all these wicked people leading and ruling, again, by where the head leads. or the what's the saying I used to always say? Where the head leads, the body will follow. This is one of the reasons why we have such a corrupt society. If the leadership was righteous, we would have a better, righteous, more balanced society. So the new earth that's emerging with all this wicked stuff will be destroyed. It will be taken down. That's when we will be rebuild, and the righteous ones will lead. And there will be no people there only wanting people that look like them, have the same gender as them. No, you're going to see the humanity in everyone. You're going to be looking at behavior, not someone's identity politics or the avatar, the suit they're in, or how they choose to live their life, their free will, consenting adults, all this foolishness going on. People more offended by what consenting adults are doing than the evils that's being done to children and the innocent every day, all day. I'm sick of it. I'm not with it. All right. Next question. Greetings. Please, can you revisit Wade Robeson and James Safechuck? When are they going to leave Michael Jackson alone? Now, I told you guys, I said that the state, I had done a video on that when they, with that BS documentary against theater. Stage. This is what they do. They create a narrative and they get fake actors and they get paid people big dollars. And you can look this up. There are people, even what's the guy that Aaron Carter even said this. He hung with Michael. And there was another guy who was killed. He's a black guy. His son was an artist. They all have come forth and said that there were people in high positions of power offered them a lot of money to say that Michael Jackson touched them because Michael hung out with them, and they didn't buy. They didn't fall for it. So y'all don't think they really didn't get some other people and pay them to say the so-called people who work for him and all that? People do anything for money. So what this is all about money. Bullshit. It's a lie. Okay? And I can say this. It ain't me being insensitive about sexual abuse. I've been through it. I've been systematically sexually abused. I had my third eye, mine eye on. I can see bullshit a mile away. These guys are full of shit. Now, when I try to read the director, the bald guy, and Safechuck, I get a read on them, but I don't get a read with Wade. It's almost like he's not here. I'm going to just say that. But what I see with that is more of a distraction. I do not see that playing out. That story popped up as a distraction because they always use a big name person or use a big name person when it's time for them to create a distraction away from something much bigger going on. So they got that out there and got that in circulation. But I do not see that happening. I don't see it getting to that point. They've already lost all credibility, which I said they would. I don't get a real life pulse on one of them. Now, should something that, now notice you have not seen, no one has seen anything from either of them, but especially Wade. And it's for a reason. That's why I say we're in a time where it is just not good to be bearing false witness and throwing people, especially righteous people who has done nothing but really give up their life to try to make the world a better place or make the place safer for you and your children. And you would do stuff like this for money. And this the same people who help you. You think of how diabolical and evil that is. That's what I see. I don't see it playing out. Again, nothing is etched in stone, but I just don't see nothing going anywhere with that. There is these people who have been trying to bankrupt, trying to destroy Muddy Michael's legacy and bankrupt the Jackson's estate. It's just not going to happen. Now, if Michael were really guilty of something like that, some damage would have been allowed because that's cause and effect. But no, it's not going to happen. We are, again, shifting in a timeline where everybody is going to get exactly what they deserve. So if you deserve to have your ass handed to you, I don't care how powerful you think you are. Your time is here. Karmic payday. Hey, I got a song coming out called Karmic Payday, my sister, by the way. A little plug, so be looking out for that, support that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me see what time it is. Okay. I'm gonna answer a couple of your questions. I read a few of your comments. Sky Time says, wow, I just remember a scene from a TV show, American Horror Story. Coven. The last episode, spoilers, when Flora passed, she woke up in another reality with her serial killer lover. Yeah, again, I was one of the first to say years ago, they have to tell the people what they're doing, but they often hide it in the form of entertainment. That's the loophole. There was no mandate in how they have to tell the people, right? So they found a loophole to put it in entertainment. So this is how everything is flipped. Everything is backwards. Whatever they say is pushed, whatever they're pushing as the truth that's heavily pushed, go in the opposite direction. That's usually where you'll find it. And that's with everything. Okay? Like and share ABB videos. Thank you. I got you back. Okay. At Paradigm Collector, I've heard, Miss Keeloo said, I've heard about what you said. Let me see what he said. What's the RRP Media fam? You know what? Please check out her channel. She does excellent content. We've done one or two shows. I can't remember. I'm going to do a show with her. Her content is really good. She gives you the stuff. She shoots from the hip, but very intelligent, very wise, definitely a vessel for the great mother. Check her channel out. And again, Cheyenne, Good Fortune, check out her channel. These are high vibrating sisters. Now, I put up that video about the original mother, the great cosmic mother, for a reason, because we need our mothers, our sisters to unite. Miss Quiet Queen did a video talking about this. It's very critical for our sisters to unite. This is why women, especially the darker sisters, our mothers, our daughters, they are really under attack because they play a major role in this shift. They hold the keys. They hold the keys. Wait a minute, close that. Okay, sorry for the distraction. They hold the keys because they're the mothers. They are. How could I explain this? Imagine the mother being this great, massive, powerful force, right? And she has a tentacle in many different vessels, all at the same time. The great cosmic mother, but the hub of who she is remains intact. All of the women, the mothers, the females, biological females, and yes, some of the males who are in tune with the divine great mother, the feminine energy, the feminine force, are under heavy attack in those circles, again, where you see where they're women or the anchors of the great divine feminine. They're there and they're trying to disrupt and break up that connection. This is the best way I can explain it. So the woman, especially certain groups of women, are under attack like never before. It is because the great mother is playing a massive role in this shift on the ground level and beyond. And I've said this years ago when someone tried to tell me with Prince. Prince, even though he was a biological male, he held the great divine force of the great divine feminine and divine masculine. So when you see Michael was another one. This is why these men were so magical. That's that great mother force in these guys that's behind that. And men who are like that. and the divine masculine men who are standing up and taking their rightful place and not playing into this bashing and beating down and the dehumanizing tactics being done to our mothers and our sisters and to the women. The women, you got to tap into that love force like never before and amp this shit up. Fire it up. All right. Wish I can astral project, can barely remember my dreams. Okay. If you can barely remember your dreams, there is more than likely there is definitely a barrier there. I'm not in read mode right now because I want to make sure I get all my talking points going. But there are things more than likely right off the bat. I'm telling you, it's habits. You have habits blocking you. Things like medications, eating certain things, chemicals that are in the food. Speaking of which, you guys are writing me, and we noticed this too, and I touched on this before. You're losing appetite for certain things because now you can literally taste the chemicals that they've been put in the food that you didn't taste before. And that, again, is a testament of your elevation. So that's going to force you to put that stuff down because it's getting in the way of your extrasensory perception. Your true sensory, it's not even extra, that's your normal sensory perception. It has been shut down through multiple means. That's what has happened. My astral projection experience, B-Bam Skun said, my astral projecting experience was similar with the lightning bolt joke. Back to the body. I was in the dragon form and flying over NYC for a while. My best experience so far. This is real. Yeah. So, me and you guys are doing the same things. Nothing but agents in the conscious community. Can you say that again? They took that deal. Remember I talked about the deal? Please do not call me. In the very beginning, I because it was pure. But once money got involved and it became about views and likes and status and all that, it went to hell in the handbasket. No, I'm not a part of that community. Do not put me a part of that. I'm not. I must reiterate that. Some think that all black people are bad and evil, which I think that's not true at all. Sure, some are bad, some are evil. Again, this is true for every group. This is a dual reality. We all have positive and negative. Every group. This is why I don't get into this is one of the reasons why I can't be used. I'm not serving the agenda. When have y'all ever heard me get online and bash and point blame at one group? Now I talk about the corruption and power, and I still don't even call them out by a specific group. I talk about the behavior. You look at the behavior. You look at the fruits they are giving individually and collectively by their actions, not by their identity politics. Because no, all one group is all lovey-dovey and caring, and no, all one group is evil. It's all a matter. And yeah, I sound like a broken record. Y'all know what time it is. Great day. Beloved ABB. I haven't seen you across my timeline in ages. I'm pleased to see you're still spreading light, continued growth and abundance to you. Thank you so much, Phoenix. See? Thank you. And I really do hope you get a chance to go and look at a lot of the videos. I'm sure a lot of y'all have not seen a lot of the videos that I put up over the years. Yes, I'm known to take breaks, and I don't upload regularly, but as I tell you guys, at least check in once a week, okay? And just check the archives because I'm sure there's some stuff up here. Don't just go by the title. If you see a title, because a lot of times I'll put one title on up there, but I talk about multiple things underneath. You may miss out. Just click on it, listen, check it out. You hear something that resonates or whatever. You like it, share it, keep it moving and grooving. Soulful music, love. I love. Thank you, Shondell. I love soul music. I absolutely adore soul music. Real singers, real musicians, real magic, real creativity. When I say real, I'm saying it's motivated by the heart. It's motivated by a pure intention. It's motivated out of love, the love of the art, the love of the craft. It's motivated because you want to inspire and uplift someone or help someone. That's what I mean by real. If you're motivated by money, clout, getting sex, get all this, that's not real. And that frequency that they put in that is going to infect and affect the listener. Okay. All right. I pretty much touched on everything I want to touch on. I'll take two more questions if you guys have, because it's so much. I don't have time to go through and read everything. Wow, I am glad I cut on my cell. How are you all in the digital building, especially ABB? Hey, J-No, thank you very much. Glad you were able to make it. Do you like, who is that? Londell's music? Lundrell's? Who is Lundrell's? Is that the one someone said one of my songs sound like their style? Lum Oh, Solar Flash. Oh yeah, someone did ask me about the Solar Flash. Where's that question? Someone asked me about the Solar Flash in relation to, will that be an ascension? For some people, yes, the ascension will happen in the Solar Flash. That will be their quote unquote rapture, or the equivalent of a rapture. But every solar flash is not going to be this instantaneous type of thing. Now, the biggest one, when I remember seeing it from the timeline, and I can't pinpoint when this is going to happen, but the way it happened, it's like a big bright flash, right? You feel it, you see it. It feels like it's not painful at all. It feels like intense pressure. You see the flash, you see the light inside and out. Everything, it's like shifting a channel, and instantly you on this beautiful reality, and there's nothing but open land, three suns, and everybody instantly know what happened. Everybody's just jumping up. Yeah, we made it. We did it. I saw that clear as day years ago. Now remember, time is an illusion. Everything is happening at the same time. I was able, because of traveling, astral projection. It's also, you can do a form of time traveling with that as well, or see, or get high enough to be able to look down at the most likely trajectories and see, and even project our consciousness into that reality and experience that. That's how it happened. And everybody was so happy, like, we did it, yay! People all over the place, all kinds of people. It wasn't just one kind of people there. Again, this is another big narrative that's being pushed out there to keep this divide and conquer, to make people think this group over here is evil and we the righteous one because of X, Y, Z, all that BS. There were all kinds of people who made that shift. But they don't want y'all to know that. Because remember, we're not these bodies. Even if our bodies are destroyed in that flash, we have layers to us that continues on. All right. So in terms of the flash, yes, will it have some influence on people's ascension process? But I wouldn't say that is that the flash is going to create the ascension. It's a part of it. It's yeah, that's the best way I can explain. It's a part of it. But when that big one happens, that's the shift. That's an altogether new earth type shift type thing. But we're incrementally adjusting to it so that when it happens, we can make that leap. Does that make sense? All right, you're very welcome, beloved Dracon. Dracon, is it Dracon or Dracon? I want to apologize if I mispronounce anyone's name. I'm going to have to start getting some reading glasses because I spend so much time on these computers. It's starting to affect my vision. Are you still celibate to this day? That's a personal question, but I'm not ashamed. You're asking that to me? Yes, I am. I'm not dating anyone. I'm not sexually active. No, I am still single and very celibate. Yes, because I have that kind of control over my body, and I have been celibate for years. It's one of the reasons why I'm able to do what I do in a way that's rarely seen. I know I'm an anomaly. I embrace my uniqueness. You're not going to have anyone try to shame me or belittle me because I'm a male who a lot of people think is reasonably decent looking, and I'm not out here living it up, having a bunch of sex with anything. No, that's not to say that I won't have. Yes, I feel desires. I be feeling some things. I'm in a physical body, but what I do is I shift that into my creativity. I rechannel. I shift it somewhere else until I come across someone who's vibrating and sharing same frequency as me, same intensity, same. I'm looking for someone who will fortify me in that kind of experience. I'm not in my lower nature where I just got to be getting it in, just be getting it in. No, I'm not wired. Even when I had low self-esteem, I did some things, okay? But there was still something in me that I knew, no, you don't do that. And trust me, I've had many opportunities to sleep with anything I want. It ain't hard to get. There's a lot of people out there in their lower nature. You don't have to be attracted to someone that the person don't have to be attracted to you or find you even attractive to have sex with you. That's why I say I'm motivated by a mental connection first and foremost. And with all these people around it, let me tell y'all again, I've done videos years ago about this. That's why I say a lot of souls have been compromised. There are a lot of people who still have these attachments on them. They look human, but they are not, or they've been mounted. Oh, I almost forgot. I gotta talk about this one. Thank you for bringing that question about celibacy because I would have missed this. I have to talk about this. Now, this is another big thing that's coming out about these women, these people on Instagram, these models, these people, high value men. It ain't just women. They talking about the women, but it's some men too, right? High value, right? Got all this money, got these great bodies. A lot of times they bought and paid for it. It ain't real. I'm not judging. I'm just making a point that y'all got to get out of trusting and falling for and comparing yourself to something that ain't real to begin with. They on yachts got money spread all across the bed, flaunting their wealth and all this stuff. A lot of these people are doing some unspeakable stuff to get it. Now, more importantly, these women and men who are going overseas, Dubai, they call them porta bodies, where they usually they're into some very, very stuff you just would not believe that involves poo, consuming feces in the middle of a sex act, eating vomit, vomiting on each other, all this kind of stuff. Let me tell y'all, these people do not realize they're getting far more than they realize, because I did a video on this years ago where I was on the astral plane and I saw over there from a higher perspective in that particular region, especially where these very, very wealthy men are. And these are people ruling nations, and they're heavily into this because the God y'all think y'all worshiping, or the gods y'all worship and they worship, it can be one and the same, but it could be something altogether different. So where I'm going with this, these people have a religion that involves sex magic rituals, right? The more diabolical, depraved, wicked, unclean the act is, you best believe they are serving these beings. Now, I'm going to tell you, I saw these beings. Now we have shifted above them, but they still have a psychic connection to them. I've seen some of these beings, and they kind of look like Godzilla-like creatures, but they make Godzilla look like the most beautiful being and I can't even just describe how hideous these beings are, but they're very, very ancient and they're very, very wise, and they are working with these people. And when they do these sex magic rituals, they are creating psychic cords with these people, ciphering their energy. Because these beings, to them, just like poo to most people, consuming poo would be disgusting to the average person, but to a fly, that's a delicious meal. To these entities, that energy that kind of stuff gives off, it's like a high and rush to them. They enjoy it. People being murdered and sacrificed brutally, the energy that it's given off from that being, these beings feed off of that, and they work through these people who got all this wealth, and some of these people who got all this wealth and money, and they offer these people this money to come over there. They defecating on them, making them eat their behinds while they're defecating in their mouths, having sex with them anally with feces everywhere. It is sex magic rituals on steroids. They're not going to tell you the fine print. All that money, they're going to tell you, oh, it's just a fetish. No, it's more to it. I'm telling you. This is one of the things I've been talking about for years. And then you got some of these people out here because they look good and they got the perfect body. Just imagine how many people and some celebrities are into this stuff too. And y'all look at these people and put these people on a pedestal, and y'all have no idea, and will be quick to sleep with them because of their high value status, or because they got a certain kind of body, or because they look a certain kind of way. That's why I say that video I did about high value versus high vibration, y'all better share it and catch it. I'm telling you, this is why I have been so, that celibacy came so easy for me, because I see it. I see the beings, those beings when they come around, when people are having lustful sex while they high on drugs and all this kind of stuff, when they doing that depraved, unclean stuff. I've seen them come around. I've seen them on people, and they latch on to a young lady was tricked into doing this by a so-called friend. She knew some sex was going to happen, but she didn't know the level of depravity that was involved. And the young lady wrote an article. She's suicidal. She's literally saying she's hearing voices. Yeah, she's hearing the voices, these entities, because they want to, suicide for these beings is another form of a sacrifice. They can psychically push people to kill themselves so they can get a rush of that energy that goes off when a person is brutally killed, when they kill themselves. This stuff is so incredibly deep. Now the girl is suicidal, and she's hearing these beings because it's them. They now have a psychic cord to her. And you wonder why so many so-called beautiful people, they be some of the most drugged out alcoholics, or these people that can get bad bitches, quote unquote, all this stuff. I'm telling y'all, everything that glitters is far from gold. And that's why, again, when you got your third eye on and you see through this mess, you really look at these people. You really feel sorry for them. You don't envy them. When you see it for what it is, you don't envy them, and you don't feel any jealousy, none of that. All right, that's it. I gotta go now. I want to thank each and every one of you, and I do hope everyone in this room has hit that like button, share this live. 41 people in the room, a little over an hour and a half. I do have some other stuff that I'm working on, and I will continue to upload videos. Not necessarily, I'll get on as needed, because again, some things about to really come down, and I do see a lockdown again. It really involves more of a military type thing that's exposing finally. But what's really going on, it has been going on, but the other side is going to make it look like this military thing is a bad thing, and it's something other than what it really is. And this can open up civil war as well. I talk about this as well. I'm going to leave on that note. All this stuff playing out, like I say, prepare, stand for, and expect the worst, but the best, but prepare for the worst as well. So that way, either way, you're good. All right? All right, guys. As always, you are loved beyond measure. Continue to question, learn, and grow, and happy travels. Thank y'all so much for this moment. All right?